Welcome to Bright Beginnings, a program for educating the parents of young children. This is a 10-modular program and includes information, activities, and resources that will lead to emotionally and physically strong children and families. You will find tools that will help you to raise happy kids and connected families. Some of the things you will learn include what to expect as new parents, how to create a safe environment for early brain development, what it means to have a great attachment relationship with your child, children's best physical development and emotional intelligence, and so much more. For the complete program, it is important to order the handouts available for each module. These are available by emailing bcaresforkids@gmail.com. We hope you find Bright Beginnings to be a rewarding and helpful tool for creating healthy, happy kids and families.
The brain. It's all about the brain, especially when it comes to raising the healthiest children. Let's take a short quiz. It's the easy true or false kind.
At birth, the brain is fully developed, just like one's heart or stomach. The brain's development depends entirely on the genes you were born with. A toddler's brain is less active than the brain of a college student. Talking to a baby is not important because he can't understand what you are saying. Children need special help and specific educational toys to develop their brain power.
Well, the answer to each of these questions is false. We've learned a lot about the brain over time, and here's what we now understand about each of these myths.
Most of the brain cells are formed before birth, but cellular connections are made from birth through early childhood. Early experience and interaction are critical for the child's brain. A 3-year-old toddler's brain is twice as active as an adult brain. Talking with children establishes critical foundations for learning. And what children need most for healthy brain development is loving care and new experiences, not glitzy toys and games.
We know now that early experiences absorbed by the 5 senses, taste, smell, touch, vision, and hearing, wire and impact the infant brain. A child's brain is like a house. The walls are up, the doors are hung, now we need to wire it for electricity. That's how our brains work. Everything's in place but the wiring and the connections. The cells need to connect to each other in order for us to talk, understand, and experience. And we do this through our senses.
Normal sensory experiences direct brain cells to their location and reinforce the connections between brain cells. We are born with about 100 billion brain cells, and these neurons make up the functioning core of the brain. A neuron has branches called dendrites that pick up a chemical signal across a synapse, and this signal travels the length of the axon. An axon has branches, and each of these branches has a sac containing neurotransmitters at its tip. The signal releases the neurotransmitters that in turn activate nearby dendrites, just like turning on a light switch.
Experience shapes the wiring and chemical connections, or synapses, firing from birth on. During the first year, there is a remarkable increase in these synapses and connections that help develop the habits, thoughts, consciousness, memories, and the mind. By the time the wee one is about 3 years of age, she has about 1,000 trillion connections, twice as many as you do. Those connections hang in there until the child is about age 11, when the brain starts to get rid of those synapses not being used, making the other wiring more powerful and efficient. The more the synapse experiences repetitive input, that becomes more concrete. And if the synapse is not used, you lose it. Let's put this to a test. Here's a color chart. Tell me the color the word describes. Now, if you were to show the same puzzle to a 4-year-old, they might name the actual colors used to write each word because, unlike you, the brain connections for reading have not yet been fully developed.
So that's brain development in a nutshell. Knowing the parts of the brain can help us understand the developments of a child's brain. Here's a simple look.
This is a side view of the brain. The brainstem controls basic life activities such as blood and body temperature. The midbrain controls motor activity such as appetite and sleep. The cerebellum coordinates movement and balance. The limbic system monitors emotions, attachment, and memory. And the cortex is the executive branch of the brain. It regulates decision-making, thinking, reasoning, and language. The cortex is more sensitive to experiences than other parts of the brain. Construction of the brain is like construction of a house. You build from the foundation up. Different parts have different functions. You can make additions and decorate. But once a wall is in place, or if you need to add a window, remodeling becomes difficult. And while learning continues throughout the life cycle, there are windows of opportunity where the brain is a super sponge. The first 3 years of life are prime absorption times up until about age 12. But the brain is still wiring itself hugely until the age of 27, when the wiring process starts to slow down.
Let's see how your brains are taking all this in.
The prime time for visual development and learning to see is 0 to 6 months, birth to 4 years, 3 to 5 years, or 5 to 10 years. The answer is B, birth to 4 years. So babies need to see shapes, colors, objects at varying distances and movement. The prime time for language development and learning to talk is 0 to 18 months, birth to 5 years, birth to 10 years, or 6 to 12 years. The answer is C, birth to 10 years. Children need to constantly hear talking, singing, people reading to them, in response to their babbling and language efforts. Remember, different children advance at different levels. The prime time for emotional attachment is birth to 18 months, 2 to 4 years, 3 to 5 years, or 6 to 12 years. The answer here is A, birth to 18 months. Emotional intelligence is critical to life success. The brain's amygdala forms emotional wiring, so early nurturing is crucial for learning empathy, happiness, hopefulness, and resiliency.
Respond warmly and quickly to your baby's cues.
Babies can't use words to communicate mood, preferences, or needs, but they do give us signals, sounds, movements, facial expressions, seeking or avoiding contact. They need their parents to respond with loving reassurance and fulfillment of their needs with food and comfort. Secure attachment happens when people read their children's signals and respond with sensitivity. For example, when reading to a toddler, choose stories or pictures the child enjoys. Read only as long as their attention is held, and involve them with questions and story interaction.
Hold, touch, and snuggle with your child.
Touch equals security to a child. It is their lifeline to trust and reassurance. Children who don't experience nurturing touch will actually experience problems in brain and body development.
Be aware of overstimulating your child.
Some people get a little too crazy with the education of their babies and overwhelm them with complex toys and games. Keep it simple and avoid stressing your child and their development. Remember when your favorite toy was Blanky?
Create a safe environment and remove physical threats to your infant.
Too much environmental stress on a baby's brain can elevate the cortisol levels, and this can lead to the destruction of brain cells. Fear, high arousal, and anxiety should all be banned from your baby's world. So look around and make your home your baby's safe haven.
There are 4 basic ideas about helping your child to learn in those early years.
Provide an interesting variety of brain-building activities and experiences. Make sure they experience touching, talking, tasting, smelling, playing, singing, looking, running. Introduce them to new experiences daily. This helps strengthen those old brain connections and helps make new ones. Limit television and mechanical toys and provide 3-dimensional toys, bright pictures, and wiggle time. Give time to practice and encourage repetition of songs, stories, and other experiences. Yes, hearing Itsy Bitsy Spider one more time may send you over the edge, but your child is setting up those neural pathways and repetition is the key. Emotionally, the same is happening with a daily good morning smile and a hug. For example, a child whose parents have read even 10 minutes a day to her from 6 months on has a brain that has received over 300 hours of this beneficial stimulation by kindergarten. Give your child the gift of your voice. Talk, laugh, sing. Hearing language from birth is essential for developing language in your infant. Bigger vocabularies and a strong learning basis later are the result. Music helps children learn structure and math as well as spatial skills. Chat it up. Provide opportunities that challenge and stretch a child's abilities. Nothing stressful, but keep them interested and curious.
Overall, the best materials to have available for your young one are books, age-appropriate board games, costumes, puppets, supervised water play with plastic cups and bottles, stacking toys and puzzles, lots of music, homemade instruments, ye old oatmeal box drum, and arts and crafts materials. All these things will help your child's beginning brain grow into a healthy, resilient, and emotionally intelligent brain. Create a loving, nurturing environment, and your infant will thrive and learn. Thoroughly invest yourself in healthy attachment with your baby, and all your lives will be greatly enhanced.